What it is, what it do, cyber world. It is your girl, the one, the only, Ash said it. AshSaidIt.com, AshSaidIt.com. Welcome to the Ash Said It daily podcast show. I appreciate you guys for all of your love and support. Over 1,600 episodes and 500,000 streams worldwide. None of this would be possible without you guys, so I thank you so, so very much. And yes, we're still dealing with some pandemic living, but it doesn't mean that you can't get your style in, all right? And there's a lot of holidays coming up, a lot of birthdays and stuff. So I've got an amazing brand that we're speaking with today. You guys may know this gentleman. He is a multimedia personality, journalist, entrepreneur. The list goes on and on. The wonderfully talented Jeff Johnson. Hey, Jeff.
What's up, Ash? Thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it.
Oh, no, thank you. So, Jeff, I mean, just a lot of stuff has happened with you and your career, and you've just had so many different moves and shakes. You've just really kind of just, move with, the flow of things. So tell us how your life has changed since becoming a father.
I mean, I've been a father longer than I've been in the public eye. So I've been a father for 21 years.
Wow.
My daughter will be 22 in May.
Okay.
So, before I knew what it was to be on BET, before I knew what it was to be on Tom Jones, before I knew what it was to be on Ricky Smiley, before I knew what it was to have my own show, I was the national youth director of the NAACP, and I was daddy. So I know how to fail and win at being a father, probably more than anything else. So I am now a crib to college dad because I got 21, 19, soon to be 18, 3, and 2.
Wow. That is a really awesome perspective.
I'm trying to take on all basketball teams because it's the only thing that is going to help me have a retirement fund.
That is hilarious. All right. So what was the inspiration behind Journacy?
I mean, listen, I like I said, I've been a dad for 21 years, and this is a very new brand. We're less than a year old. And I realized in talking to dads, whether it was through Man Cave or whether it was my boys or through a lot of the work that I did, that one, I think black fathers are still trying to convince people we exist and we show up and we want to do this and this is what we do. And there's more brothers that are attempting to be dope dads than there are those that are too stupid to realize that they should be, and even more those that don't know how to plug in the way that they've been called to. And so for me, it was about how do we actually acknowledge that black dads exist in the marketplace? Let's build a product specifically for black dads. It specifically speaks to their unique journey to create legacy for their babies, and that's where Journacy comes from. The journey that every father is on to create legacy for his babies, and real dads know that you call your kids babies until you ain't here no more. So it doesn't matter whether they're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 23, or 35. Our babies are our babies, and so I was excited, one, to create the product, but what's really been more profound, Ash, is just developing the community. Men, we don't talk the same way sisters talk. Right. And we haven't been conditioned to ask for things the way sisters have. And we haven't often built communities rooted in need as much as communities rooted in world domination and consumption, right? So we realized that, one, every dad I knew, whether they had $1 million in the bank or $1 million in debt, most of them wanted to be revolutionary dads. And by that I mean whether your dad was there your whole life and poured into you all that he had, or whether you didn't know that Negro. Every brother I know wants to be revolutionarily better than their dad. Right. And because our babies deserve it. But we don't have no blueprint for it. And we don't have a whole bunch of spaces of conversation for it. And even kind of some of the brilliant platforms that I think are out here that are changing narrative around fathering aren't necessarily providing blueprint. And so we recognize that dads know two things. They know what they do well, and they know what they need to know. And so how do we create a community where you can come and share what you know and learn what you don't? And that's what Journacy is about. From a product perspective, we got a beautiful bag that I'm excited to talk about. We got a series of merch that's coming out just this month. But the bag was really it. Like, I didn't want to come out of the gate with T-shirt, sweatshirt, hat, mug. I think all those things are great.
Right.
But it was like, man, how do we like we put some love into this joint, man. We took vegan leather because we know where some cats are. We designed it in a way that was about how can this thing look good and be functional. Yeah. And then on top of that, we literally, every bag you get on the inside flap, it says, today I will live in such a way that when my children are asked what honor, courage, strength, and love look like, they say, my daddy. This is my Journacy. That is imprinted in the leather on every single bag we sell. Wow. Because we want brothers to know we ain't just make this and say it was a dad bag, right? Yeah. We made this with black fathers in mind. And I can't tell you how much pressure I got not to.
Yeah. I can imagine. I can
well, no, it's like imagine. It's too small a market. Why are you just focusing on black dads? What about Latinx dads? What about these? And I'm like, listen, I'm a daddy, so I get it. Like, I salute to every brother that is moving in a way to be intentional and providing what your babies need. But listen, as much as I celebrate every dad that shows up, ain't nothing wrong with me saying, hey, I am a black man with black kids, and I want black fathers to feel important. Yeah. Not just in a community, but in the marketplace. And that's why we did it. So we got brothers that are not black dads that are buying the bag, and I appreciate them supporting the movement, and they're celebrating with us and engaged in the community, and I love that too. But I'm just not confused. Like, I'm serving black men. Yeah. And I am aggressive about serving black men.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, it's a sense of pride. You know, we're not, you're not bashing or saying, like you said, about any other nationality that's out there that are, trying to be great fathers. But especially, in the black community, it's just our men are not upheld. They're not celebrated. And, this is a really good way of helping kind of change the narrative a bit and be a lot more encouraging to those black fathers that are out there trying to make a difference, that getting that, that metaphorical, pat on the back. And I think that this is an amazing product. When I heard about it, I was like, wow, okay, that is definitely, they're absolutely doing some major, major stuff that is going to impact the community in a positive realm. And I see that.
And you said something interesting, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not trying to celebrate fathers for showing up.
Right.
Like, that's your job.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to do is provide brothers with a community that says we see you showing up. And we want to provide a level of support as you show up. So this is not about, because I know how sisters are sometimes. I know sisters, I'm with you. We are not trying to say, let's do a parade for dudes that read to their kids. No, we're not saying that. We're saying, hey, you want to have a community where we can show you what books are dope? As you went through the 4 books that you read to them babies 15 times already. So I think the thing for us is, especially for our sisters, is acknowledging, listen, we are not on that we celebrating men for doing their job.
Right.
What we are saying is, how do we create community to help them be daddy better?
Right.
And to have support from other dads need dads.
Yes.
At the end of the day, and so many of us didn't have them, so we don't have blueprint.
Right.
So that's really what this is about too.
Yeah, I think it's a beautiful, it's definitely a beautiful movement. And like you said, it's providing support for those fathers that are out there that, like you said, they're looking for stories to read to their babies, or they're looking for different ways of being creative while in pandemic. And the more that you guys can share and fellowship with each other and continue to push forward and encourage one another, I think that that's a huge help. Huge help. I love it. All right. So, Jeff, what is the best way for people to, of course, get the product and get some more information about you guys?
Real easy. Journacy.com. And it's just what it is. It's Journey and Legacy. JOURNACY.com. And at JOURNACY at Journacy on IG.
All right. Jeff Johnson, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate you beyond words.
No, you know what? I appreciate you. Because it's no joke to do a podcast every day and be consistent.
Yeah,
it's you bringing energy, and you bringing information, and you bringing love, and you picking up folks, and you're talking about things that a lot of folks don't know about, and sure, you love it and you're good at it, but that's service, sis. And so I just want to be super intentional about saluting you, not just for bringing us on the show and letting us talk about the brand, but just how you show up for us every day. So thank you.
I appreciate that. Much love, much love. And I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thank you so much for all of your love and support. Keeping in mind, anyone to tell you that you can't do what you want to do, you look them square in the face, you tell them, don't believe me. Just watch. Watch what I do. Watch me make it happen. Watch me make history. That's what we're doing this for, the history books. Social media is nice, but real life is so much better. Until next time, you guys.